Wow. You know, David, it is the beginning of a new week. And I got to tell you, when you turn on the news, other than seeing the Eagles eviscerating Kansas City, and probably the most, remarkable halftime show in NFL history, besides maybe the original few shows where they had some dancing girls. I got to tell you, I was so underwhelmed. And I'm very happy for the Eagles for finally clinching it and taking the three-peat down under to still not being done. But here we are. Welcome to the Rant Network. It's a podcast for unfiltered, unapologetic discussions, kind of like my football analogy. Hosted by myself, Stuart Brisgell, and my cohort, David Solomon. We tackle a diverse range of topics, candid conversations, and bold opinions. When I mean bold, David sometimes has to stop me. Whether it's breaking down the latest headlines or that I may conflate and do about a whole bunch of other stuff, exploring pop culture, debating politics, or delving into the complexities of modern life. This is a platform for every perspective. So grab a seat, settle in, and join us on this journey, another thought-provoking rant and meaningful discussion. I gotta tell you, I was not totally overwhelmed with what's been going on. You hear about USAID spending hundreds of millions of dollars to give a cement factory to Hamas. You see victims, not hostages, victims being released that remind me of the horrific pictures of Nazi Germany when we saw what was left in these concentration camps, images that most people don't want to see or deny happening. No different than the leaders of Hamas and the Palestinian government being literally an extension of the neo-Nazi party, which dates back to the 1930s. In fact, the teachings were exactly from Adolf Hitler. And when the Democrats yell in the street that Trump is like Adolf Hitler, I think they're really not looking in the echo chamber within their own party when you hear the words of Ilhan Omar and AOC. None of this is really the focus of this rant, but it gives the feeling about all the what I say isn't really what the truth is. And I'm just going to keep saying it until you believe that this is the story. And media has gone amok. News no longer exists. I had a debate with someone in my office, David, that tried giving me sound bites. And I said, did you read the transcript? Well, what do you mean a transcript? Well, you read me a sound bite, but what about the whole transcript? Do you know where the context of what was being said? And what was the meaning? You hear the Democrats yelling and screaming about the unfettered access and resources given to Elon Musk, but they failed to tell you what the access was to Soros, Fauci, and the band of emissaries of evil that have been lying, pillaging, and sifting not only the American, but the Canadians as well. Now you hear the President of the United States wanting to co-tax everyone what we are taxed and get into trade wars, destabilizing the Canadian government and possibly the conservative run in Canada, or at least so David thinks. David, you're crossing your arms and hoping that I stop.
Yeah,
David,
because you're straying again off the topic here. And once again, Stuart does what Stuart does best. Spray and pray that something sticks here, ladies and gentlemen. And the spraying and praying sounds just like, it's just typical of what is going on in the world today. Look, let me just cut to the chase here. The whole purpose of today's rant that Stuart and I talked about in the green room as we were talking about different topics was simply put, would you please stop believing what you're seeing? I know this is hard. Because everywhere you look, whether it's CNN or MSNBC, social media, you name it, it just stinks. And what Stuart said was right. We're going to take a little soundbite here. We're going to take a little clip over here. And from this angle, what you see is horrifying. And it leads to people on the far left, like the AOCs. And you have the Joy Reids And you have all these people in one basket. And on the right, you've got the Tucker Carlsons of this world who are screaming and yelling, Israel is bad. Israel's bad. Israel's at fault. Israel's guilty. Not sure of what, though. But they'll throw whatever you can. Spray and pray. Ethnic cleansing. Spray and pray. Apartheid. Spray and pray. Anti-gay. Spray and pray. You just throw as much as you can, hope something sticks. And if you're listening carefully, ladies and gentlemen, to the banter, that Gaza is a destruction, has been destroyed. Well, we have a victory. Spray and pray. When you hear that they're looking for peace, but they want to call from river to the sea, spray and pray. Because basically what they've done is manipulate you. They have manipulated you, and the folks in the media, the politicians on far left and far right have done a remarkable job of being the propaganda machine for Hamas. But here's the reality, ladies and gentlemen. Today in Israel, there are families who have been destroyed because of Hamas. Forget wars, forget all this stuff. You imagine, if you will, that for close to 500 days you're in captivity. You've been treated badly, physically, emotionally. You've been held in a tunnel, no sunlight. You haven't been fed properly. You've been physically abused, psychologically abused. And the only thing that you hold on to today is that you're going to one day see your family upon release. On this past Saturday, when that occurred, as the 3 hostages emerged, reality set in. As Stuart said, they looked emaciated, almost like Holocaust survivors. That was the comparison. They found out the realities of what happened on that day, and one survivor in particular found out that his family was completely killed. Hope. The hope that he could come home to his family, destroyed. Now, let's take a step back. Let's talk about realities, people, that the world is not going to talk about. One, this is a breach of the Geneva Convention. None, not one of these hostages was visited by the Red Cross. Red Cross, we joked about them, the best Uber service you can. And by the way, now they do not even want to televise these exchanges because they realize how bad this looks and that they're part of the Hamas parade. If you saw the entirety of the clip, not the small clip that the world wants you to see, but the entirety of the exchange, the way these 3 were paraded, were forced to cheer, were forced to, smile and wave to the crowd, were intimidated by dozens of, starving? No, they weren't starving Palestinians. They were well fed and well dressed, children and adults, women throwing flowers and candies to the soldiers, praising Allah, praising this victory that they've got in Palestine, in Gaza. All of this, all you got was the little clip. All you got was the little clip. You didn't get the full story.
Nope.
You're waking up today wondering why. Stuart, I'm going to tell you something. The world is being lied to. And these ideologies that you hear from people who are not going to read beyond the headlines, they're the ones who are lying to you. They're not telling you what's really happening. And I'm going to let you go on for a little bit, but I'm going to come back because I got even more. But I see you're like irking to jump in. So, dude, what's
no, David. It's just, it goes back to like, and as you tried to allude that my start was way off the green room chat. It really wasn't, because I was trying to illustrate that if you were to look at images of the Ukraine and look at bombed out cities, you don't see that in the news either. You don't, Gaza is uninhabitable. There is really nothing left. And, those people that are saying it's a bad idea to take these people and let's take them in to an empty part of Egypt or an empty part of Jordan or an empty part of Syria. Well, the world took all these people in. And I brought up the Ukraine specifically because millions of Ukrainians were distributed throughout all of Western and Eastern Europe, but they were also distributed to United States, Canada, and Mexico. But these people called Palestinians, no, you can't go anywhere. And what the, as much as people are calling out Donald Trump, and it's just not the focus of this rant, for coming up with unorthodox concepts, is for 70 years this plan has failed because one party is a branch of the neo-Nazi party that had no desire to make peace with anybody and was defeated. And the only reason why you don't have a modern neo-Nazi party existing for the most part in Eastern or Western Europe is because they were destroyed, taken down, taken out. But one faction of that Nazi party exists in Hamas and Hezbollah in Iran. And they are the evil that we are all fighting. And the Democrats in the United States, the liberals in Canada, and the socialists in Mexico are all complicit with the media, which is now being exposed. David, you're right. You only saw a snippet of what these people looked like. You only saw a snippet of what that drive, and the Red Cross is complicit as much as the media is for now demanding it's not so nice to have these, victims. They're not victims. They call them hostages. They're victims. They're terror victims that the Red Cross failed to do anything about. United Nations is going dark. It's as if these atrocities weren't happening. Let's be an ostrich, they say. David, it is appalling. I am angry. I am upset. And it, is the reason why we've been doing this now for our 5th year. And I'm sorry if you think I took us off topic. I don't think I did. I think I'm merely widening the scope, the optics of how bad this really is. And as much as you in Canada are feeling the pinch because Donald Trump is doing what Donald Trump does, brings chaos to an unorthodoxy to politics, I think at the heart, it's really bringing us back to where we all are.
Actually, I don't agree. What Trump is doing isn't helping. I'm sorry, but where he is helping is exposing the fallacy. What he is doing is exposing the lies that what he's doing to Canada is I'm not going to get into today because
no, it's not the
whole thing. And the tariffs he wants to slap on is just what I'm getting at is when he said, "Hey, if you people don't want to rebuild Gaza, we'll rebuild Gaza." And on Sunday, he doubled down right before the Super Bowl. He sat down with Fox News, had one of those interviews and said, "Yeah, we're ready to build." And he did it on the plane. And he talked about who's going to rebuild Gaza. And this is where the media and the left have lost their minds. And this is what I wanted to come back to. Erdogan, the president of Turkey, he wants to be the next caliph, in Middle East. He wants to be the next big leader in amongst the Middle East. While Iran is getting, eviscerated, he wants to emerge as the guy, the most powerful guy in the Middle East. And he said, "No, thou shalt not touch the Palestinians. It's forbidden." And you're thinking, my God, if you really did care, find a solution. The solution that they keep throwing is
part of the final solution. And that is
exactly the idea. You're right. The idea here that people are willing.
Say that one more time. I am.
Yes, Stuart. You're wrong. The thing that the people continuously miss is that the message that you're getting from Iran, that you're getting from Turkey, that you're getting from many other places, this isn't about helping the Palestinians. It's about hurting Israel. And if you look at it, why is Columbia University in court now? Because they did nothing. Did they really? Is this helping Palestinians by breaking into Concordia and McGill, for example, or destroying the property of Columbia? None of it. It's not about that. Intimidating students, it's not about that. But why wouldn't the media go down that road? The only path that they've been brainwashed with is we need a two-state solution. You don't have a two-state solution without a partner. And when your partner at the other end of the table says, "I want to destroy you," and yes, the Palestinian Authority, yes, Hamas, and all these other terror organizations have one objective: kill Israel, destroy Israel. He said it on Saturday. On Saturday, upon releasing the hostages, they said, and by the way, he said, "We want to destroy Israel, not peace." There was not a word about negotiation.
Nope.
As we go into the so-called phase 2. But here is the crazy thing, Stuart. When you zoomed in, Stuart, And we zoomed in, right? We see the faces of the hostages and of the captors. When you zoomed out, what did you see? A dozen cameras building content for social media, building content to spread out the propaganda. But none of it was about a peace in the Middle East. It was about continuing the quest to destroy Israel. And that, my friend, is not being shared by the media or politicians. That's why, folks, you're being lied to. You don't have the full story. And what Stuart said before, if you're just going to listen to one sound clip, you can't make your mind up. Listen to the entirety of a transcript, the entirety of the whole thing. Watch the whole thing, unedited. Whoa, you might be shocked to see what's really going on.
David, I'm going to say that's a wrap. And this brings this episode, another one done at the beginning of the week. We truly appreciate you tuning in and sharing this time with us. Your support engagement means everything. We continue to foster open, honest, and thought-provoking conversations. Don't forget, we're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern. Stay connected through our social media. We've been posting all kinds of little snippets to give you little teasers about what David and I are up to. And let me tell you something, the reviews and the feedback has been awesome. In fact, I never thought these little clips would generate thousands of views. But you know what, David? I got to thank technology and a little perseverance. Maybe I'll figure it out one of these days. David, I want to thank you again for another thought-provoking 4 years. And I look forward for the next 4 years as we shed light where there's darkness, where we give explanation where there is none, where we tell you how to find the truth and don't tell you what the truth is. David, what do you say?
If only we had the patience to actually dig, that might be better.